my pastor's wife, to please help us with the opening prayer. Pastor Mrs. Jumoke Iroyo, kindly unmute and give us the opening prayer. Thank you.
Praise God. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Nice to be here too. Our Father and our God, the great I am that I am, the lily of the valley, the rose of Sharon, the bright and the morning star, the one who was, who is, and forever shall be, our great Savior, the lifter up of our head, and the Lord who loved us so much. We just say thank you. We thank you for the privilege to be gathered together at a time like this to reason together. And according to your word, when we are gathered like this, you are with us. We ask, Lord God, that you open our eyes of understanding. You help us, Lord God, to see more of your desire for us, even concerning that which we eat. Let your name be glorified. Speak through as many as we have to speak to us today. Let your name be glorified and cause our joy to overflow. Thank you, Lord God, for the power and the will to do the right thing at the right time. For in Jesus' marvelous name, we have prayed. Amen.
Amen.
And
Amen. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank
And
you.
welcome.
I'm super delighted to be part of you this afternoon. God bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Ma. You're all welcome once again. And I say not just a good evening, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. It would actually be nice if we could have us just share in the chat box wherever we may be joining from today. This program is put together by Super Healthy Foods Networks Limited, Nigeria. And it is my pleasure to have you all join us in our inaugural webinar. This is the first in a series of seminars and webinars that we will be holding to educate us about our food choices. Many of us have had all sorts of sayings about food, and I don't know what yours is. It would be nice to have you share your own, your favorite quote about food. So we've had it said that you are what you eat. Your food is your medicine is your food. Food is a necessity, but it's important that we choose what we eat very, very wisely. And this is one of the major things that we will be discussing today. We all know that all over the world, globally, there is an occurrence of deteriorating health. More so in a place like Nigeria and in Africa, especially when you even consider the current astronomical increase in the cost of living in Nigeria, especially. And so what are the things, what are the issues? What are the things that lead to us choosing or making the wrong food choices. There are several. Lack of disposable income, the unavailability of, good nutritional food, lack of time to prepare the food, the fact that we don't have good preservation and storage facilities and all of these things are factors that affect our food choices. At Super Healthy Foods, we are a network of various experts, and what we do is to try and solve at least Africa's, if not the world's, Africa's biggest problems of food waste, malnutrition, and ill health, all due to the ill health due to lifestyle diseases. And in line with our vision and mission, what we intend to do is to bring experts on a monthly basis to discuss, about food with all of us, so that we can begin to unlearn, learn, and relearn how to make proper food choices. It's important that we eat, and there are several things available for us to eat. But how to choose what is best for us that will help us to crowd out diseases, help us to maximize, life, help us to live better, help us to be healthy, and help us generally to optimize our performance. These are the things that are crucial, critical, and which we need to begin to consider. How do we manage what we have? How do we ensure that we are getting the very best of whatever it is that we have available, or getting the very best that nature has to offer? To discuss these issues with us, we have experts who are coming in from Lagos and Abuja today to talk to us. The theme of this webinar, this first webinar, is biohacking, the role of superfoods. Today, there is a hack for almost anything you can consider. And that's why we also thought about it and said, yes, it's possible to hack our bodies. It's possible to hack, our biology, so that we can optimize performance, so that we can get the best nutrients that our bodies need and be able to live better, live healthier, live happier lives, and be able to work to maximize our potentials and our productivity. To do justice to these topics that we have before us, we have Mr. Shoretire, Mr. Michael Shoretire, a dietitian, and Mr. Anthony Alagbile, a man who is he's an expert in many fields. And I'm sure that at the end of this discourse, you're all going to go away, having learned so much. We learn every day. I'm here to learn. I hope you are here to learn also. Anchoring this event with me, we have our General Manager, Mrs. Wumi Adedini, and our Business Development and Sales Manager, Mr. Michael Elumeze. At one point or the other, they will be taking over. So permit me at this time to invite Michael to do a proper introduction of our speakers, and thereafter we will have the main discourse for the day. Please relax, enjoy, learn, relearn, unlearn, or rather unlearn, learn, and relearn. And I hope that you will have a beautiful time. Thank you very much. Over to you, Michael.
Okay, my name is Michael Elumeze. Handling business development, and we want to welcome you all for coming to this webinar. We will go straight to introducing our first now one-time Lagos State Facilitator and Monitor of Maternal Nutrition South MNC program. He's an expert in medical
since we're having some challenge.
Interest in pediatric nutrition. The public.
Can we hear Michael properly?
Can you hear me?
Network is poor. It's cracking.
Okay.
Okay, let me come again. Okay, so to introduce our first guest, we'll be talking about Mr. Shoretire Michael. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, so Mr. Shoretire is a renowned dietitian nutritionist, a one-time Lagos State facilitator and monitor of maternal nutrition and child health program, MNCH. He's an expert medical nutrition therapy with keen interest in pediatric nutrition, a public and media speaker. He has delivered series of lectures on nutrition and stress management. He has held different positions, such as Service Improvement Officer, a member of Quality Improvement Team at the General Hospital, Lagos, PRO, Lagos State Association of Nigerian Dietitians. He's now the Protocol Officer and Vice Chairman, Education Committee of the association. He currently serves as the Secretary of Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, NUAHP, Health Service Commission, HSC branch, and also the Head Department, HOD of Dietetics and Nutrition Department, General Hospital, Ifako, Ifeanyi. Join me to welcome Mr. Shoretire Michael. Thank you for coming, and it's an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. So we yield the floor to you, Mr. Shoretire, to begin your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you, ma'am. Is my screen visible over there?
Yes, Shola, please. Yes.
My screen is visible. It's visible there.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. As it is my name is
Sorry, Mr. Shoretire, it seems we're having a little network issue. Same as we had with Mike. So can you maybe
Michael Bolan. I'm a protocol.
maybe move
Good evening,
it or
Nigeria
something?
Limited, and all the crews. I be sitting there, over there. I say in Nigeria here and West Africa, we are in evening already. But to every other one, every other person in the other climes of the world, I say I'm greeting you according to your time over there. Thank you. So before me this evening, I'm presenting super foods, super benefits. Superfood, super benefits I have on the context of superfoods. Why are they called nutrient-dense foods? How are they beneficial for Earth? Specific nutrients and components in superfoods, categories of superfood, and so on. Limitation, conclusion, and reference. Introduction. Longevity is one of the key goals and the most characteristics for anyone to live in this fast their schedule. It becomes a task, and by so doing, what contributes to longevity becomes unattainable. Because why? People are more dependent on the quick, we are in fast world, as our schedules are so many things. And thereby, time to sit down, to cook for natural food, to make use of the nutrient-dense available, nutrient-dense foods are not enriched. Then we take what is fast to get in order to meet up with the appointment. But nutrition is one of the most crucial pillars of health that we definitely want to focus on if we're actually seeking to live a long and healthy life. There is no any argument about that. Nutrition is a crucial pillar. So, and it has profound impact on our well-being. What you fuel our body with, that we nourish our body with on a daily basis, not only say a lot about the current of our health, but the way it performs and survive once the going gets us, once we are aging and us. Science, that times will be education about radical shifts in acting, the human form and function. Yes, to know why is this happening, what can I do, and thereabout. If the human bodies were a machine and we could figure out
Kindly bear with us. Can you hear
not
me?
only how it was built and shortcuts, ways to fix. I can hear you, ma.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. The human body is a machine. That is, we have series of parts. We have series of body, we have cells to organs, tissues, thereabout to system as say, oh. Then so we have figured out a greater deal about optimizing its components. That is the hacking. So now, what superfood will do to us as we have been able to identify, because we need to identify each part of the body. We need to live healthy. We want to look younger. We want to grow old. We want to have our days in the land of the living. Then, from the knowledge of science that we have gotten all around, there are things that makes the body to work fine, which is the food. This is the basis, the crucial part. Then there comes what we call superfood. The term superfood was introduced in the 90s to indicate a special class of food journal in 1992 published an article with title "Report aims to whet the palate for superfood," which lays the introduction of the word superfood. The article also described the category about engineered food. We are not going to that. We are talking about superfood with functional benefits. That is, functional foods that are rich, nutrient dense. The organic, non-processed food are the highest. The organic, non-processed food are the highest. There are many definitions of superfood, but usually names, foodstuffs characterized by their richness in nations we are giving to any superfood. It also depends on the richness of the macronutrients and the micronutrients, which the body needs for its maintenance, to maintain its health and to prevent illness. So there is no official definition, but from the Oxford, as it has Oxford Dictionary, it describes as a nutrient-rich food considered to be especially beneficial for well-being. That was when we talk about a superfood, we are talking about food that is rich in nutrients, micronutrients for immediate use of the body and for future use and for protection of the body against any form of incoming disease, and to make the individual to live healthy. The superfood concept does not exist to serve as just a type of food that can help with weight loss. Yeah, we need food that is not that can weight loss, but promote health, and with none that is none of that other than
Apologies for the poor quality of the network. Kindly bear with us. I hope we still have Mr. Shoretire. Okay. Mr. Shoretire, please go on.
So I said, for any food to be called superfood. These three qualities must be met. That's it must be available. Availability should be accessible to everyone. So easily purchased, either at local supermarket, farmers market, or from online, depending on our location. And there should be, number two, presence of nutrients. We have above average quantities of natural health boosting and disease fighting nutrients, including antioxidants, phytonutrients, and essential fatty acids, proving that they are a bang for your buck and are worthy of the superlative. That is, those nutrients should be available. 3, health benefits backed by peer-reviewed and scientific studies. There must have been some studies as regards the nutrients. As we all know about vitamin C, vitamin E, carotenoid, to be good antioxidants that helps to counter the effects of oxidative process in the body. So, and which they are actually working. Just for example, the case of ravaging of scurvy in those days. Then with the discovery of ascorbic acid, vitamin C, the issue was put to a rest, and the man begins to live as normal. Why are they called nutrient-dense food? Because they contain most important bioactive components, which have been proven to be beneficial to human body. That is why they are being called nutrient-dense. They contain, as I listed earlier, polyunsaturated fatty acid. Most of these superfood, the functional foods, contain the omega-3 fatty acid, which are help if it is for children. They help in the brain formation, mostly, but for adults and for other works they do. They are heart-friendly, they are anti-inflammatory, they help the body to work very well, they reduce aging, they help in carrying out every other thing that the body is needed, in synchronizing other with one another. So, as well, vitamins, contain vitamins, as I've said, vitamin C, vitamin E, and some other good vitamins too. Even the B vitamins that are good to the body in terms of the series. The polyphenolic compounds. These polyphenolic compounds, they are major of a plant source, and they possess antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory, anti-tumoral, and osteogenic activities, even anti-carcinogenic and anti-neurodegeneratives, and anti-diabetics. For some of them too, they are good. All these, they are nutrients that the body needs to make it to regain, to maintain, and as well to be able to defend any form of scavengers whatsoever. How are they beneficial for the earth? These nutrients that have been listed, it stimulates the immune system, that is the body defense system against virus, bacteria, and other disease-causing agents. They block the potential for carcinogens. That's the way we said, they block the potentials of any form of conditions as a result of the natural body processes or from what we eat, like the vitamin C, the carotenoids, and others, and the polyphenols, which are plant sources of nutrients. So they reduce oxidation and damage to cells that occurs with aging. As a result of pollution, oxidation caused by molecules, free radicals in the body, and the slow growth rate of cancer cells. Reduce inflammation. Reduce inflammations that provide a certain favorable for cancer growth. So, as I've said, those who have been taken care of trigger a process called apoptosis that causes the damaged cells that may lead to cancer to be destroyed. So prevent DNA damage and help with DNA repair mechanism. Help to regulate hormones such as estrogen and insulin, because excessive of these hormones are linked to increased rates of breast and colon cancer. Yes, specific nutrients and compounds found in various food. Or because as we normally advise most of our patients when it comes to nutrient intake, we talk about varieties and we talk about color. Let it be like a rainbow color. So now we have colors. This will give us a guide when we are taking any food we are eating of the color, the possible nutrients, the possible phytonutrients that are embedded, aside from the macronutrients that we might gain, that is the form of the carbohydrate and the fat others that we might gain from it. Then, for the ones that are red, we have carotenoids. And we know the benefits, they are antioxidants. They help the body to fight any form of infections, any form of oxidative process. And they rejuvenate the arteries and every other part of the body in their actions. So the red one contains carotenoids, flavonoids, polyphenols, terpenes. Why any food produce we are taking that is white, it contains flavonoids, inositol, isoflavones, not like the soya beans too, as it is available in soya beans, thereabouts. The blue and the purple flavonoids, polyphenols, and while the greens contains carotenoids, flavonoids, indole, glucosinolates, and isothiocinates. While the yellow and the orange color food we might be taking contain carotenoids, flavonoids, polyphenols, and terpenes. Categories of food, superfood. Superfood are being categorized by the global superfood market. They segmented them into this form, to these three forms to differentiate a bit. That is, we have one as a base on type. The market is segmented into fruit, vegetables, grains, cereals, herbs and roots, and others. So, and then we have based on the application. That is, some segment into bakery and confectionaries, just like snacks and just like some a product like maybe tiger nuts produce with oats. That would be a very good product for a diabetic patient, even for a nursing mother, whether with a EDM or pre, whether with diabetes or with a non-diabetes individual. Products like that way it can be formulated and it will make that everybody should be healthy. We have less usage of good ones together. Let me move a bit back. I'm not yet through there. Maybe my time. Okay, limitations we are having. So nutritional experts and scientists who have worked on testing the various nutritional claims made by the industries have found that the claims failed in providing the promised results. Fine, as it might be a challenge, it is also known that when we talk about a particular produce are found to have anti-nutrients. We have anti-nutrients, we have phytates. As well, there is nutrient-nutrient interactions. So there is need for more research to be done on this. As the claim of the nutrient in most of these food items, they are genuine and it works. But there has been more research to be carried as per an individual. And because it's individual, it is not animal, it is not laboratory testing, then it is a progress. We will get there. Now, second one, the experts do not, in fact, deny the nutritional benefit. This is a supportive provided by the so-called superfood, but suggest that the superfood alone do not possess superpower that will alleviate various diseases in individual, which means conditions should be taken according to their stage, not until a particular condition has been aggravated beyond, and we now look for magic. Because most of this condition is as a result of a long-time effect. So as an individual, we should also take decisive actions to a decisive form of issue, we should take issue accordingly. That is, individuals that are suffering for a form of a chronic condition, medical intervention, let your physician come into play, then with the help, and you now make a refueling, a good refueling with a superfoods. Superfoods are mostly exotic food that is more expensive than the regular. Yes, because it is just a natural law of demand. Once something is living to its expectation, and people actually see result, and definitely the price will be high. But if every one of us do, we can also get involved in all this. Then in producing locally superfoods, homegrown agricultural produce, this will also help with the information that we are being given in a kind of a setting like this. So, and also a marketing strategy of superfood has made it. The marketing strategies, yes, has made some farmers to make it to become interesting because there is money, there is profit making in it. So they tend to begin to produce more, become a monoculture farmer, and as a result, there will be a depletion in the nutrients in the soil. So there should be multi-farming. It shouldn't be a kind of only the produce or a kind of rotational plantation. So next slide. Conclusion. The secret of physical fitness and health are so very simple. Everyone great grandfather never needed to study those secrets that we are studying to circumvent the world where we live in. But we can't say because they did not study it, we will not do our own bit to make the world a better place for us. The simple secrets apply to all humans, wherever you might be, wherever you are hearing me, whatever angle you are. Then eat as nature provides. That's what we're saying, and that's what superfood is encompassing, organic. So eat as nature provides, move your body through space with regularity at times, facing appropriate resistance. Other times, walking a few miles, sleep at night. When it is necessary, because sleep is also good. It helps a lot with the body. Walk, wake, energized. When you have a chance to sleep, wake energized in the morning. Be productive and active all day. Yes, let's live an active all this as we inherited from our fathers, our great-grandfathers. Adjust to the season to stay warm, feed and hydrated. Feed, make yourself feed and be hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Avoid excessive stressor. Don't let the target be given unto you and every other thing, and maintain a state of gratitude and calm most of the day. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Shoretire. We are very, very grateful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Let's appreciate Mr. Shoretire in the chat room using emojis. Thank you very much for that awesome, awesome delivery. We are very grateful. A lot of things have been said, but I'll yield the floor to Michael, who will continue. Michael, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Thank you very much, Mr. Shoretire. You were able to cover a couple of things, which I'm sure we've learned so much from. Some of the things I was able to pinpoint. Some of the questions I looked at, like why are they called nutrient-dense foods? This is a very, very important question. I think a lot of people ask, why are they called nutrient-dense foods? And you're able to actually explain to us very well. Also, you covered the qualities that separate superfoods from the rest, how they are beneficial for health, specific nutrients and compounds found in these foods, categories of superfoods, and also the limitations, which is very, very important. The limitations are actually very, very important in whatever we are doing, because in whatever you do, there are limitations, and we need to know how to pass them. So moving forward, we'll be going to the next speaker. I'll be introducing the next speaker. Someone many of us will know, Mr. Anthony Alagbile. Mr. Anthony Alagbile is a Harvard-trained expert and a British chartered psychologist. He's Africa's leading systems thinking and network scientist. He is the curator and developer of Natural Combining Revolutionary Insight for more than 15 years. He has disciplines over the course of 18 years. Both NIS and HSH are based on interconnectivity, regeneration, circularity, and balance, which are at the heart of nature's intelligence. He's currently a doctoral researcher in integrative and natural medicine at Quantum University. He holds a master's degree in mind, brain, and education from Harvard University, as well as product of the prestigious Harvard Business School, leading professional service firm program. He also holds a master's degree in organizational effectiveness development and change from the University of Delaware. There are so many things. If I continue to go on, we might not leave this place. So without further ado, I introduce Mr. Anthony Alagbile. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm loud and clear. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are.
Loud and clear. Okay, thank you, Michael. And welcome everyone to this session. And I believe the first session has set the stage, which is exposing us, giving us a bit of background about what superfoods are. So we'll go into superfoods, doing a deep dive. And then we're also going to go into how to use superfoods as a biohacker. So that's what this session is going to focus on. So more or less, this session is the action session. So what are you going to take away that would, do wonders in your life? Just like for me, biohacking has done wonders for me. Sorry, just a second. I didn't know that I was not charging my laptop. Okay, so let me share my screen, and then we are good to go. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, it's on slideshow, right?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Okay, fantastic. Slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, good. So biohacking with superfoods, that's our topic this evening. And by way of starting, I would say that we're going to cover very briefly how foods affect our biology and chemistry, why superfoods really matter. I mean, first speaker has given us some expose around that, but I'll still want to talk a bit of the importance of superfoods, why they really matter, because that dovetails into how we can use it to biohack our systems. What to look for in a superfood. Then we'll do a deep dive into some superfoods. I call them superfoods because they are superfoods and they are superfoods, and you'll get to see them very soon. Then why use superfoods as biohackers? Why? I mean, we're going to look at that. And then biohacking with superfoods, what exactly should we be focusing on our biohacking journey? Then we'll bring it all together. So I am a biohacker. So I'm excited to share with you my biohacking journey, but not just that I'm a biohacker, I'm also a neurohacker. I'm also a psychohacker. So what that means is, so a lot of people these days talk about how you use, food, how you use, a lot of technologies to biohack your system. I don't want to define what it is here because I'll be jumping the gun. But there are also several other aspects that we need to biohack to be functional, to be optimal in our day-to-day functioning. And that's where neurohacking comes in. That's where psychohacking comes in. But today we are going to focus on biohacking and specifically on the role of food. Okay, so let me tell you the secret behind your worst and best days that nobody has told you about. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you feel so sloppy, you feel sluggish, you just don't feel like getting out of the bed. Everything just seems to be collapsing. You are not, thinking straight, you have brain fog. And when you even start the day, you start the day on a very, very bad note. You're not able to think well. You want to send a mail, it's taking you forever to even draft and to craft the first word, the first sentence. You get into your day and you just can't seem to be coherent. You try to put sentences together, you try to make a presentation, you're not getting it. Things are not, jiving, as we say. Worst of days, right? Some other days, you wake up in the morning, you just feel on top of the world. You just want to conquer. You want to, go out there and do everything that is before you for that day. More or less tick all the boxes, And in these two cases, you may have had the same number of hours of sleep and the same quality of sleep. But what is the difference? And a lot of people do not know that the night before, what you ate plays a very big role in what happens the next day. And of course, the way you start your morning also plays a very big role on how your day progresses, how vibrant, how energetic, you will be that day. So the difference between your worst and bad days, most of the time, has to do with whether or not you take nutrient-dense, healthy medicinal foods the night before, the morning of that day. And sometimes, whether or not you are able to combine these foods, these superfoods, you're able to combine them very well. These superfoods before us, right? Use them. It's just like drugs, right? You go to the doctor prescribes for you. If you don't take your drug at specific time, the outcomes, which is, whatever the case, what you take in, how you take that in. So the secret behind your worst and best days that nobody has told you about lies in whether or not you consume superfoods. And some of us before now, we may be consuming superfoods, we don't know. And the days we consume these foods in high proportion, maybe a day before, we see the resultant effect, the cascade effect, and it affects our energy level significantly. Some other days, you just maybe take a burger, or some food that just crashes your system, and it makes all the difference. Superfoods and the power of color. Our last speaker, said very clearly that, when they talk about superfoods, the wider the variety of colors, the more super it is. So you need to look at, what experts will say is when your diet cuts across the rainbow, we call it the rainbow. So the 7 colors, and of course, all the other colors in the spectrum, as much as possible, you will achieve your superfood and achieve your biohacking goals. But some people will say, getting some of these foods, exotic foods, they are quite expensive. How do I go about it? Can I still biohack with superfoods? Because I've not even, what's it called, being able to take care of my basic needs, talk less of buying these expensive, exotic, fruits, vegetables. There is a way around it, and we'll get to that very soon. Of course, not like this, not like this. If you say, eat the rainbow, we are not saying you should eat all kinds of, junk foods, all kinds of foods that deplete your energy, like what you can see on the screen, and many others like this. Okay, let me share with you briefly my journey into biohacking. Several years ago, I found out that I was losing energy very fast. I mean, I start my day, I can't just figure out what's happening. And I started to forget things. I mean, I'll put maybe my key somewhere around in the room, and in the next 2-3 minutes, I'm looking for the key. I'm not able to find it. I was not sleeping very well, and several other effects on my body. It was really, really telling, on my health. Then I spoke to one of my mentors, and you know what he told me? He said I should explain to him the kinds of food I used to eat, or I ate then. So I shared with him, and there, because he was the person that introduced me to biohacking, he started to point out to me how this food, that food, we'll get to that soon, elevates your blood sugar and then crashes the blood sugar. And when you have very high, level of sugar in your blood and then they crash, it's just like when you have voltage, right, in your, electricity in your house, and there is high voltage, right? It can sometimes crash and destroy some of the equipment, some of the gadgets that you have in your house. So very high voltage, and then it crashes down. So he started to explain to me that food and the type of food we eat, the quantity of food we eat, the time that we eat those foods plays a very big role. So, and then I started to investigate, started to research, what these superfoods are. And you'll be surprised that up till now, most of us at our age, we have gone through primary school, we have gone through secondary school, we have gone through university. Nobody has told us, about these superfoods. And they can make or mar everything in your life. You'll be wondering, why is your life not, optimized? You can't achieve your career goals. You set goals, you are not motivated because, your dopamine level is low. And that has to do with whether or not you are taking superfoods or not. So when I started my journey into superfoods and biohacking, I started to see immediate changes. I started to see immediate effects, in my, everyday life. And today, I can categorically tell you that I can be up from morning till night, and I'll be the one to tell myself, it is time, go and sleep. No fatigue, no brain fog. I am always on a high. That's because I was able to fix my biology. I was able to fix my chemistry with food. How does food affect our health? Of course, a long time ago, Hippocrates said that let thy food be thy medicine and let thy medicine be thy food. And that today has a lot to do with superfoods. And when we focus on the dimensions of well-being, as you can see on the screen, food and drink, is a very key component. In fact, it's the most important, component of it, Now, what happens from parts to the whole? So as you can see, to build a car, to make a car, it starts from the parts, and then you assemble those parts to make your car. The same thing happens with the food we eat. So see the food you eat as building blocks to your person, your whole person. So if you eat a very sloppy meal, it goes into your body as parts and becomes part of your whole. And it powers what you can see in the middle here, beneath, these are the millions of chemical reactions that are taking place in your body every single second. And those chemical reactions are powered by food. So imagine the food you take, which is fuel, right, for the body. Imagine that food is a bad fuel. What does it do? It goes into your body and becomes part of you. And the part of you that it becomes, right, starts to create all kinds of negative effects, unintended effects. Then you can start to see cancer, diabetes, all kinds of lifestyle diseases that people now, have. And they don't know that it has a lot to do with what enters into their system. So to sum this up, everything we take in, every single food is broken down into molecules. Of course, for those of us who are not science-oriented, I'm not going to bother. What it's simply saying is that it's broken down into small parts. And those small parts, they go into or go to different parts of your body to do the work that they are supposed to do, and they become part of you. For example, you eat food, the energy from your food goes into your cell, and it powers the chemical reaction, the biological reaction taking place. Whether or not, for example, as I'm talking to you, right, my conversation with you, my discourse with you is being powered by the energy from my food. So if I don't have sufficient energy, or if I don't have good energy, so there are two different things, sufficient energy, then good energy, I will not be at my best. My cognition, my mental functioning will not be, optimal. So we need to focus on the fact that, we are what we eat, and what we eat at the end of the day becomes who we are. So generally, we go to superfoods now, and I believe our last speaker has done justice to what superfoods are. So when you start to focus on superfoods, right, you will start to see that your brain function will be, sharper. You will think more clearly. You will remember things faster. You can solve problems, and you are able to coordinate a number of things without feeling overwhelmed. And a lot of people who feel overwhelmed is because they're taking bad fuel from bad food. Okay? Your energy level will be at its peak every single time, every single minute, because you focus and you are deliberate on what comes into your system. Your digestion will be optimal when you digest your food. A lot of us, we suffer from digestion problem, and that's also what's affecting, and contributing to so many diseases that we see out there. Then your breathing. The food you eat also affects your breath. A lot of us don't know that some superfoods, for example, they have some compounds, and those compounds, what they do is that they open up the air bags, the lungs, and you're able to breathe well. And sometimes you're not breathing very well. You try as much as possible, you don't know what's happening. It's just because you're not taking in the right fuel to power your system, to make you breathe well. Then mental health. Today, the increasing rate of mental, disorders, psychological disorders is quite alarming. From young people to old people, people are suffering from all sorts. Some people say it's because of too much social media, right? That is one. But two, the most important reason why a lot of people are suffering from mental health issues is because of diet. The modern day diet is a scam. It's a scam because, we have been sold what kills us by the food industry. And a lot of us, we forget and we are not cognizant of what is, optimal, what we should be having, as part and parcel of our system. We go out for lunch, we go out for dinner, we go out to parties, we stay in hotels. These days I just wonder. In fact, one of my goals, one of my the vision I have now is when I stay in hotels, I ask for specific kinds of food, they don't have it. I'm like, someday I will have to open a hotel, a chain of hotels that the only thing they serve there are superfoods. So when you leave the hotel and you go back home, they'll be wondering what has happened to you. But these days, you stay in a hotel or you travel, you are in the plane. What they give you just continues to kill you and kill you gradually, and you don't know, where that is taking you. But with superfoods, you can reverse a lot of these conditions. Then DNA regulation. What a lot of us don't know is that the food we eat a lot of people say, oh, your DNA is fixed. You cannot remodel it, you cannot change it. But I'm happy to tell you that modern, science has proven that the food you eat, as mundane, as basic as it can be, has the power to silence certain genes. In fact, what research has shown is that if you take certain foods, right, it will shorten your lifespan by first killing the genes that help people to live long. So there are some genes they call longevity genes. Those genes are genes that, when you have them and they are active, very active, you live very long. That's why if you go to some parts of the world, people live very long because their longevity genes are optimized because of the kind of environment they live, because of what they eat. So when we focus on superfood, we start to turn on. We literally, this is not a figurative, metaphorical turning on. We turn on, we amplify the functioning of those genes, and those genes increase our lifespan and increase our health span. Lifespan, health span, they are two different things. You can live long, but you will not be healthy. But you can live long and be healthy all through, even to your 90s and 100s. So you increase your lifespan, increase your health span by focusing on superfood. Then a lot of people these days, their pain threshold is very, very low. Any little thing, particularly, I'm sorry to say, there are young people here. Young people of these days, they have very low pain threshold, very stress tolerance. Those days we can face all kinds of, stress, all kinds of tribulation, all kinds of pressure, intense, and we are still, vibrant. But these days, any little thing, these young people, they collapse, they shorter, right? And we don't know what's happening. The food that people are eating has a lot of, role to play in pain regulation. In fact, there are some specific food substance in superfoods that block pain receptors. So if you take those compounds, for example, turmeric, for example, has one of these painkillers, right? When you take turmeric very often, right, and of course several other superfoods, and I won't go into yet, you find that the compounds in them, they start to block those pain receptors. So instead of you taking a natural painkiller, people take all kinds of natural painkiller, synthetic painkiller. They go to the pharmacies, they prescribe all sorts, and they become addicted to it. If you focus on superfoods, those superfoods, the compounds in those foods, right, will start to help you heal your pain. And I've even seen women, menopausal women, who are able to use superfoods, and their period pains, has gone from very high to very low because of superfoods. And generally, superfoods help you to prevent obesity, heart disease, stroke, and all kinds of lifestyle diseases. So you can see that superfood is like a cheat sheet. I call it a cheat sheet, right? Because you can achieve a whole lot rather than wait and then your system starts to crash, your system starts to degenerate, you start to look for the doctor. So superfood prevents all kinds of lifestyle diseases. And I dare anyone, right? Even doctors will say, oh no, there's not one thing that can cure everything. I can tell you categorically that there is one thing, there are specific foods and group of foods that when you take them often, and consistently, and in the right proportion, you start to see that you will be losing weight, effortlessly. So all these weight loss programs that you go and pay thousands of dollars, you go and pay hundreds of dollars, 200,000 naira, you will not need them again, because you start to see that your weight, will be trimmed, your weight will be balanced, and you will not be losing weight and gaining weight, what's it called now? Randomly. Then heart disease, you start to see your heart, your blood pressure will start to come down and you'll be far from stroke. A lot of the people these days, I know, and we are aware of that young people under 20, in their 20s and 30s are suffering from stroke. And this is not the case, a decade ago. And the reason is because our diet has changed completely. Then cancer, I need not say, the cancer rate has increased significantly in modern times because of the food we eat. They are mostly carcinogenic foods, right? And when you eat a lot of these foods, what you do is that you start to breed cancer cells. Okay, now my next slide will talk about how do you know that a food is superfood? How do you know? How do you know that a food is superfood? So what do you look for in a superfood? Okay, so first and foremost, and I'll give you some examples. And I want you from today, the internet is our friend. Today we can Google anything. Google should be your friend. For you to know that the food is superfood, it must be versatile. Versatile means that you must be able to use it in different situations. You may be able to combine it with a lot of things. So versatility is a key feature of a superfood. So if you see a food that has very versatile uses and applications, is most likely to be a superfood, but not yet, not conclusive yet, but that's one of the features. Then experts also say that if something is going to be a superfood, we must be able to find it around us. It must be available. So a lot of us don't even know, for example, that, baobab, I did a research recently, just, word of mouth research. I asked up to 100 people, do you know baobab? Baobab. Do you know that more than 87 of 100 people in Nigeria, they don't know what baobab is? And baobab is a life changer. In fact, for me, baobab has replaced my energy drink. It's what I use as energy drink. It's what I used, to meet most of my nutritional needs, essential vitamins, essential minerals, achieve my quota for even antioxidant, intake. But it was surprising that baobab, which is native to Africa, is called Adansonia digitata. That is indigenous. So all over Africa, most countries, Nigeria particularly, we have baobab everywhere in arid areas. But people don't know that that's a superfood, but it's available. The same thing with moringa. If you go to your village now, because most of us are in Lagos, so everything, you hardly see trees around because you have converted everything to built environment. If you go to rural areas, there is hardly anywhere you go, you won't see moringa just growing on its own. But moringa is a powerhouse. You don't even need to go and be looking for cabbage, you're looking for broccoli, looking for kale, because moringa has it all. So availability is a very key feature if you want to identify a superfood. Again, there are some superfoods, right, that are not available in our environment. So it's not an exclusive feature, but if something is readily available, it's more likely that people can consume it, and is also cheap too. Then macronutrients. So the macronutrients we talk about is proteins, carbohydrates, fiber, and fat. So when you look at a superfood, it will have a good balance of all these nutrients, a good balance. And if you see a food that is very high in carbohydrates, for example, that food is not likely to be a superfood. And I singled out carbohydrate because carbohydrate is the culprit when it comes to things like insulin resistance, things like, elevating your blood sugar, creating all kinds of, diseases in your body. Carbohydrate is a key. So any food that has very high carbohydrates, right, is not likely to be a superfood. So, but again, we consider all these macronutrients together: protein, carbohydrate, fiber. I'll show you how to know if a particular food has a balance of all this. So no problem, there are websites you can go to. I've already put some of these down. In fact, this myfooddata.com, I have an account there. Every day, anything I want to eat, right? If I go to a hotel, I go out with friends, I read, what's it called now? The menu, and I order for food. Before I order, I check, a lot of these things. And once I see that this is going to cause problem, people will be saying, now something must kill a man, something must kill a woman. Yes, something must kill a man, but you should not live miserably. You shouldn't live, as if the world is caving in on you. You should enjoy your life. So to enjoy your life, you must be able to eat well and eat the right food. So not the fact that you are trying to be careful about the kind of food you eat simply means that you want to enjoy your life. So if you say something must kill a man, before that thing kills the man, the thing will make the man miserable. So it's not going to kill the man immediately. So do you want to be miserable? That's what I tell people. Okay? So then we talk about micronutrients. Our micronutrients are minerals, and vitamins. Very, very key. So when you see a superfood, it will have a lot of vitamins and minerals. But let me give an example. Please, we all eat rice, but thank God I hardly eat rice these days. But it's unfortunate that, do you know that I was reading a research that shows that more than 80% of the calories in the world comes from rice. So you can see that that's already a pandemic. It's a pandemic. So COVID-19 was a pandemic, but the real pandemic is what we call the eating pandemic, which is, and the experts also call it the eating malnutrition. So we are all malnourished, but we don't know it. You eat rice in the morning, you eat eba in the afternoon, you don't even know that you are cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself. So micronutrients, having essential vitamins, essential minerals, are key to the categorization as a superfood. Then there's what we call glycemic index. So please, you don't need to memorize all this. You can write them down. And I also believe that, if we may also make these slides available. Glycemic index. So if you go to this website I put down there, glycemicindex.com, if you go there and type different foods, it will show you the glycemic index. Glycemic index is telling you how likely will that food raise your blood sugar and make it very high. And when you raise your blood sugar, it's like when there is high voltage. When there is high voltage, you know what can happen? It can destroy your gadget. So when you call a particular food, if you go online and say, okay, for example, rice, what's the glycemic index of white rice? You will see that the glycemic index of white rice is different from the glycemic index of brown rice. Okay? So glycemic index is from 1 to 100. So any food that has a glycemic index of 50, 55 and below, so it means the glycemic index is low. So that food is likely to be a superfood or is likely to be a good food. But a high glycemic index is telling you that that food, when you take it, your blood sugar will elevate so fast. That's when you say glycemic index is very high. Am I making sense? I hope I'm following. You guys are following me. Are we following? You are following?
Yes, we are.
Okay, very good. So you can see that your glycemic index is a function of how likely a food will increase your blood sugar immediately or over time. So that's essentially what it is. So focus on foods that have glycemic index of 55 and lower. And you can go to this website. And even if you don't go to this website, just type on Google. If you type on Google, anything you want to eat, just type glycemic index of potato, sweet potato. There are two different types. You can even focus on the purple one. Glycemic index of purple potato is different from the regular potato. You will see them all there. So that is how I'm able to biohack using the information about different food. Glycemic load is different from glycemic index. So the index is how likely that food will elevate your blood sugar, right? But the load, the glycemic load is how likely your body will absorb, we take in. So for example, now if I have, say, 100 grams of rice, so the glycemic index is how likely that this rice will increase my blood sugar, fine. But the glycemic load is how likely will the sugar, right, from the carbs, of course, how likely will my body be impacted by that food? So the load, as the name implies, the load on my body is the glycemic load. So glycemic simply means sugar. For those of us who are not scientifically oriented, so glycemic from glucose and glucose means sugar. So glycemic load, glycemic index is sugar, in a layman's term. Okay. Then very important, this one, if you have not heard about it, don't worry, you don't need to memorize the full meaning, but just know what this ORAC is. ORAC, for those who want to know, means oxygen reactance absorbent capacity. Okay, let's leave the full meaning. But what does ORAC simply mean? So all the reactions taking place in our body, thousands, millions of reactions, when they occur, they produce byproducts. And many of these byproducts are devastating to the system. So a lot of those byproducts, some of them, they call them reactive oxygen species. So which simply means free radicals. Okay, let me come back to layman. What it means is, so for example, if you burn fuel, right, the fumes that come out of the burning, that fume, depending on how bad that fuel is, if it's a good fuel, you see the fume will be clean, isn't it? But if it is a bad fuel, you see the fume will be dense, it will be very, very choky. So that fume is what we call the free radical. So the ORAC value of a food is how likely will that food consume and clean up the bad fumes, the bad things that come out of the reactions that take place in your body. So a lot of superfoods, they have a very good high oxygen reactance capacity, right? It will quickly sweep. It's just like when there is a party, when a party takes place, after the party, everywhere is littered, right? If you have a very good machine that cleans the place up within minutes, that machine has a very good ORAC value. So if you now have maybe a small broom that sweeps the thing, and you to take from today to tomorrow to finish sweeping where they had the party, it means that your ORAC value is very low. So superfoods, they have very high ORAC value. And the reason why ORAC value is important, in fact, is the most important thing on this list, is because the bad products from all these chemical reactions, we call them reactive oxygen species or free radicals. They are the things that contribute the most to the cancer of this world, the diabetes of this world, the Alzheimer's disease of this world, the Parkinson's disease of this world, and so on and so forth. They are the things that reduce your lifespan, those free radicals. So if you have a food that has the capacity to clean up these things as they are happening in the body, that food is a superfood most likely. Then finally, here we have biological value of a food. A food that has high biological value means that the protein content that is absorbed into the body to become part of you. So as we all know, everything we are seeing is made from protein. Your muscle is protein. Your what's it called? The fibers in your body, your systems generally, your organs, they are made from proteins, right? So if you have a food that has a high biological value, it means that the protein that will be absorbed from that food to make part of you, to build muscles, right? and also to make your skin to glow, because when your skin glows is a result of stuff having enough collagen. For example, collagen is a protein, right? So when you have a very high biological value, it means that food is likely to contribute to your protein absorption, which now affects your body. Your body starts to look fresh, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think my time is going far and fast. So what's the force about biohacking? What's the force? The force about biohacking is that if you start to biohack your system, I'm not joking, right? You will achieve a lot, and you will still have the energy of a young, vibrant child, even at the end of your day. That's the force about biohacking. So who doesn't want to be, energetic? Who doesn't want to be superhuman, right? And that's what biohacking does. And just as we can hack into computer systems to access information, to optimize the system or manipulate its function, that's what biohackers do. So when people say, oh, they hack into your system, they hack into your system so that they can get information that you can't get, normally. And some people can hack into your system and be doing transactions on your system. They'll be doing transfer. They'll be chatting your relatives, your loved ones. You will know, and that's the power of hacking. So you can access information through, routes that make the system to be optimal. Okay, so just as we can do that, we can also hack our body system to achieve quantum results. And I can tell you that, for me, this is a first-hand testimony about how food can do wonders in the body. I don't just eat anything these days. I subject them to all these tests. I go online, type, oh, what is the oral value of this food? What's the glycemic index of this food? What's the glycemic load of this food? I do all that. But actually now, I now know all those things offhand. So most of the foods that I want to eat, I already know that this one is a high glycemic index food. I don't take it. But our food will give us that ability to biohack. So we can biohack our body system with food, with light, with EMF. EMF is electromagnetic forces. So, as we all know, we are surrounded by all kinds of electromagnetic forces. You can manipulate those electromagnetic forces, to charge your system. So that's why some people will tell you, oh, you will stay on the machine will charge you, and you will become energetic again. That is, they use EMF. They call it electromagnetic force. You can biohack with that. Light, you can biohack with light. Sunlight, red light, infrared light, and so on. You can do biohacking with it. Heat is a tool for biohacking. These days, a lot of people talk about sauna. You go into the sauna room and you come out, you sleep like a baby. That's biohacking. Cold, you can biohack with power of cold. So some people talk about cold immersion. So you go into, what's it called now? Maybe a system that is filled with ice. You go into it, or water that is chilled, and you stay in it for a couple of minutes. And when you come out, what experts show is that, what experts have shown is that, the cold has the power to start to revitalize your cells, to kill the dead cells and to recycle those dead cells through a process we call autophagy. Let me not go into that. So your system is renewed, so to speak. The health. Some people talk about healthing, right? You see some people walk bare feet, and then you'll be wondering what's happening. Are they do they attend Celestial Church, or I don't know. But it's a biohack, because the earth is negatively charged, and most of the reactions in our body takes place in negatively charged environment. So when you walk bare feet, it is a form of biohack. You pull electrons into your body and you recharge your body. Then breath, your breathing can also be used to biohack your system, and so on. But today we are talking about food. And I want to tell you that food is the most important biohacker, because food is the fuel of your body. All these other things are add-ons, right? They are add-ons. Today, we are focusing on superfoods. The food we eat can completely remodel our DNA. They can turn our genes off and they can, turn on our genes off and on. And that's why they say that when you start to focus on superfoods, you start to see that you become younger. You are becoming younger by the day. You may not be looking it immediately, but when they measure all the parameters of aging in your body, right? They find out that, for example, from blood pressure to your what we call your heart rate variability, your brain wave, everything is becoming like that of a young child again because of superfood. Okay, a lot of superfoods out there, right? I'm sure a lot of us, we don't consume any of this. Moringa, kale, spirulina, baobab, chia seed, flax seed, hemp seed, sesame seed. All these are superfood. 3 years ago, I was not taking any of this. 3 years ago, I was not taking any of this. And today, let me tell you that I don't use any other oil apart from coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, moringa oil. I'm sorry to say, most other oils are highly inflammatory. And they have what we call high omega-6 content. And omega-6 is what causes all the cancer you are seeing. So there is a research that shows that 50 years ago, our food ratio, the ratio of omega-3 is the very powerful, what's it called, fatty acid, right? That helps your brain to function well. You find it in things like salmon, things like, even your moringa and, other kinds of food. The omega-3 to 6 ratio 50 years ago, please, if you don't understand anything, just get this, was 1 to 3. So for every 1 omega-3 people took then, I'm just making it simple. That's from the food now, not that you're taking omega-3 direct, from your food. For every 1 omega-3, then it was like 3 omega-6. But when omega-6 started to increase much more than omega-3, and that is what we call the scam of the food industry. The scam of the food industry is that they have given us a lot of this junk food, ultra-processed food, a lot of refined food that has ratio of sometimes omega-3, right, is now maybe 1 to 30. So for every 1 omega-3 that we take in, we have like 30 omega-6. And that is the recipe for death. You are killing yourself every day. That's why you find a lot of people today, they don't know what's happening. They just collapse. You find them, they start to suffer from cognitive decline. They cannot remember anything again, And people age fast because of very high omega-6 content. So what happens is the oils that we take, I'm focusing on the oil because there is virtually nothing that we cook that we don't use oil to cook it, right? Or to fry it or whatever. I have completely done away with all kinds of omega-6 oil. So all our vegetable oil, or most of our vegetable oils, canola oil, soybean oil, groundnut oil, they have very high omega-6 content. And we all use it every day. And I'm sorry to say, go and check modern research, you see that a lot of the deaths, a lot of the aging, a lot of the cancers come from using all these inflammatory oils, right? I'm not demarketing anybody, right? I run a factory that produces soybean oil. I'm still having conflict of interest, but let's see how that goes. Beef and other animal livers. Okay. Now, every single day I take beef liver. The liver that we consume. Liver is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the earth. It's a super food. So instead of taking more of beef, I take beef liver, chicken liver, and other kinds of liver. And you will see that in the next couple of years, people will start to scramble for liver because liver is very, very nutrient dense. Okay, let's look at this moringa that we are talking about. It's a superfood. Look at what one food can do for you. One food, look at what it can do. So some people will say it's a lie. How can one food do like 30 things? It can increase your mental clarity. It's anti-inflammatory. It stimulates hair growth. I don't know why I've not started growing hair, but I take a lot of moringa. It enhances your skin health. You start to glow. So look at this. Then look at what's to the right of it. Moringa, as very lowly and humble moringa as it is. You go out in your village, you see moringa everywhere. It has more than 92 nutrients, 46 antioxidants. So I was talking about the ORAC value. The ORAC value that I talked about, ORAC, is the quantity of antioxidants. Moringa has more than 46 antioxidants. And look at all the other things. I can leave it to you. It has 2 times the protein in your yogurt, 3 times the potassium in bananas, 4 times the calcium in milk, 4 times the vitamin A. So when you start to look at superfood, they will dwarf, they are worlds apart when you compare them to regular foods. And let me show you something. We talk about having food that contains vitamins, minerals. It's very difficult these days, but imagine one food has all this. It has almost all the vitamins, almost all the minerals, almost all the antioxidants. So all those big names that you are seeing, they are the antioxidants we are talking about. So I take moringa literally every single day. I either put it in my soup, everything I'm doing, I put it in smoothie. Sometimes I just put it inside warm water. I stir it, I take it. You will start to see the effect in your life. I'll finish this training now, this session. I have like 3 or 4 other meetings to attend. And somebody will say, I don't break down. I say, how can I break down? Check I have gadgets. I can check my blood sugar, check everything. It's perfectly normal. Okay. I sleep like a baby because I focus on superfoods. Now, look at this. Now, I was telling you about ORAC value. So look at this different food. Like I said, these are things you can Google and you'll get it. See moringa, it has an ORAC value, that's the antioxidant value, the capacity of the food to sweep and clear off debris, to clear up all kinds of anti-nutrients, all kinds of, what's it called now? Harmful substances in your body. Moringa is 157,600. That is the value. So look at most of the other foods that you know. And then somebody will say, why is everybody not taking moringa? The same thing with baobab, the same thing with kale, the same thing with dates, the same thing with several other superfoods I've mentioned. It's just that not everything is here. But you can see for yourself that once you start to focus, even if you take 3 here, moringa, you take cinnamon, you take turmeric, even if it's just that 3 you focus on, or black tea powder, focus on that alone, you start to see the effect, in your system. Now, baobab, right? Baobab is another superfood, and it is really super. When you compare baobab to the major superfoods, I'm sure some of us know things like blueberry, cranberries, orange, and so on and so forth. Compare it to your baobab. Baobab is way, way, way off. Look at the antioxidant value between baobab, pomegranate, cranberry, and blueberry. You see they are worlds apart. And these are the other foods that people say, these are very high nutrient-dense foods, right? But compare it to baobab. But this baobab is everywhere and it's affordable. You have the baobab powder, you can add it to smoothie, you can add it to just water, stir it. I use baobab for almost everything, because it is readily available. But a lot of us don't even know what baobab is. And we eat rice every day. We eat beans every day, and we don't know baobab. It's a shame, Now, calcium, look at calcium, look at vitamin C, look at magnesium. So all these are the things that we look out for in food. And baobab stands tall over and above all these other foods. Okay? The same with cinnamon. One food, one cinnamon. Some people will say, but these things, they are not food now. It's not something I can eat like I've eaten lunch. The thing is, it's food because it has more nutrient density than most of the other food that you eat. So what we do is that we now try to moderate. We try to marry. So you can still be eating your rice small, eat your beans small, but when you are eating all these things, you'll be adding all these superfoods to it. When you add all these superfoods to it, you'll be seeing, the difference in your life. Now, let me now shock you a bit to tell you why, for example, I eat liver every day. Every day. In fact, if I send someone to buy suya, the suya will be packed with liver. So look at liver compared to all these other food that we call superfood, blueberries, kale, and so on and so forth. And look at the numbers. Let me give you one as an example. See vitamin A content in the liver. Look at 4,968 microgram compared to even the one that comes closest, egg yolk, 191. So why wouldn't I take liver every day? Because it's like I'm cheating nature. I'm cheating nature. I get all these things, and these are the things that power your brain. Let me give you an example. The B vitamins, vitamin B2, B3, B6, B7, they power your nerve function, your brain function. So if you take a lot of the B vitamins, that's why some people say take vitamin B complex. If you go to meet the doctor, you are suffering from lethargy, fatigue, stuff like that, you cannot eat, they will give you vitamin B complex. Beef liver for me is vitamin B complex. So it's a superfood because it has very high protein, don't forget, right? It has a very good fat content and very low carb, but it now has all this and more. Let me now tell you, there is a substance we call choline. You can see choline right there, right? So choline is an essential nutrient, but the research shows that only 10% of people in the world are having sufficient choline. And choline is the raw material that is used to produce acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the brain chemical that when you have a lot of it, your brain processing speed will be very, very fast. So it's just like a computer, right? You boot it, it's working. You click, it goes straight. So choline is a precursor to acetylcholine, but most foods don't have choline. That's why they say only 10% of all people in this world satisfy choline, even though it's choline requirement, even though it's an essential nutrient. But nobody told me this when I was growing up. Did anybody tell you that? If anybody told you that, please let me know. Nobody told me. And you see people suffering from mental illness, they will do psychotherapy, it will not work. They will go to church, pray, it will not work. Because you don't have what powers your brain. Omega-3, 60% of your brain is made up of omega-3. I talked about it earlier. But your modern day meal or food has a lot more omega-6 that more or less sweeps and consumes the little omega-3 that you take. That's why most brains are not functioning as they should function. We have very low IQ, more than ever before. Okay? Now, this is our beef liver that I just talked about, the nutrition fact. So just look at it. Let me just show you. So when you see this DV means daily value. So that's why I said it's one way to cheat nature and to cheat your nutrition is to take superfood. So if I take liver, just 112 grams of liver, something like this, right? Not much. Look at the top, what's it called now? Right-hand corner, right? You see that it has your your protein, your carbs, it has your fat, it has your saturated fatty acid, monounsaturated. So all these fatty acids, right? Is a balanced fatty acid profile. So it means that your liver is a perfect food. It has saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, and it also has carbohydrates. Then it now has all this. Why? Selenium, and we all know that selenium, and some of us we know, selenium, helps your immune system. It helps your brain to, to fire. Vitamin E, I'm sure we know vitamin E, vitamin K, omega 3, and so on and so forth. Let me not focus so much, but I believe I've passed my message, right? So, superfoods. Why use them, right? Why use superfoods as biohackers? The reason is they have generous amounts of specific and uncommon nutrients. So I've already told you some of those nutrients, omega-3, choline, and so on and so forth, antioxidants, polyphenols, anthocyanins. I don't want to start naming the big names, but they have specific uncommon nutrients lacking in modern diet. For example, turmeric has curcumin. Curcumin is a very potent adaptogen. So adaptogen, they are a group of substances. When you take them into your body, they make you, so they raise your stress tolerance level. So if you take a lot of turmeric, for example, and ginger and other foods in that spice category, turmeric #1, and all those other spices like thyme and all that, there are specific compounds in them that more or less they increase your tolerance to stress, your tolerance to anxiety. So that's why people who take a lot of this food, they hardly become anxious, they hardly become depressed. So they have generous amounts of specific and uncommon nutrients lacking in modern diet. That's one reason why you should take superfoods, right? Okay. They have significantly many benefits on our biosystems. Like I said, I just think that it's foolish. I'm sorry to use that word. It's not wise. It's not to be superfood conscious because you're more or less cheating yourself. The same amount you are using to buy food outside, you buy ijekuje, buy this, buy that. If you focus a lot of your resources on buying superfood, using superfood, you start to see the benefit because it's a cheat sheet, like I said, and they have very high medicinal and health properties. That is why people who consume a lot of superfoods, right, they hardly go to the hospital. So some people will tell you that I've not been to the hospital in 15 years, in 30 years. Some people will say even in 50 years, I've not been to the reason is because your food is your medicine. But your food can also be your poison, as most foods that we take, are. And they have targeted effects across specific organs and systems. So superfood can affect your kidney function, your heart function, your brain function, your reproductive system, and so on and so forth. Okay, we are gradually getting to the end of the session. Now, biohacking with superfoods, what do you focus on? So you can have your superfoods, but it may not be achieving the right result for you. Why? The reason is because you need to take into cognizance some factors. Let me share some of those factors with you. Timing of your food. So let me tell you this. One of my great learning from biohacking, and the research has shown that, is that when you eat most of your food within a short window every day, and superfood for that matter, you start to see the effect of those superfood on your system. For example, let me use myself as a case study. Several years ago, of course, I was told that breakfast is the most important meal. So every day, even our children, we give them cereals, right? And you know what? People who know what's happening, when you tell them that you give your children cereals, they'll say, what you are giving your children, more or less, is what is making them to be dull, what is making your children to be sloppy in school, right? Because in the first place, cereals are not meant to be taken in the morning. But, well, nobody told me that. My morning, if I have to eat in the morning, it must be very high protein, high fat. Because the brain prefers a kind of fuel that we call ketones. I'm not going to go into details. So there are two kinds of fuel. One is glucose, sugar from the carbohydrates you take. The other one is called ketones. So as you are listening to me now, the probability that you are using glucose, sugar, is 99%. But I know myself, the probability that I'm burning ketones now is more than 90% because of the timing of my food, the kind of food I eat. So my food is now using a clean energy. So my brain is using a clean energy, my body is using a clean energy. So glucose, sugar, you are meant to use glucose in essence, like 10%, 20% of the time. And when you are doing high intensity exercise, you want to go to the gym or you are going to go for a walk, you want to do something very active. That's when you take carbs, carbohydrates and all that. But when you want your brain to perform optimally on a good day, you must focus on high density of protein, fat, and all those other essential nutrients. And where can you find them? In superfood. So I eat now between 12 noon and 7 p.m. Once it's past 7, I hardly eat. I'm not saying I don't eat, so that if you see me tomorrow eating after 7, you will not say, I thought I'm not walking the talk. I hardly eat after 7. The reason is because when you eat when it's dark, so nature is so smart. When it is getting dark, the part of your system that processes food, breaks it down, is going to sleep. So your brain passes that signal. So in fact, experts will tell you that when it is dark, melatonin levels start to increase. That's why you feel sleepy, right? What that means is that melatonin goes to the pancreas. So those of you who are science-oriented, this may be interesting to you. Melatonin goes to the pancreas and tells the pancreas is what produces insulin, right? And that insulin is what makes you to burn your sugar and all that. It tells the pancreas to stop producing insulin when it sees darkness, when it senses darkness. The melatonin that your body produces more or less goes, because it's a hormone. Hormone will travel to a receptor site. It will tell you, it will bind to the receptor site and say, no more insulin for today, or produce less of it. So imagine you are going against nature. So even if you are taking superfood, you are taking it at the wrong time, you will not achieve the required result. Then food combination, right? This is a textbook on its own. For example, if you say turmeric is a very high potent food, it's an adaptogen, like I told you. But do you know that the curcumin in turmeric, if you take it alone, you can only get 5% of it absorbed into your body. So turmeric is a superfood, but you're not getting the benefit of that superfood. But when you combine turmeric and black pepper, and some of us may have been told that when you take turmeric, take black pepper. Yes, the reason is because black pepper combined with turmeric increases the bioavailability or abundance of curcumin by 2,000 times. So you can see 2,000 times. So initially, just taking turmeric alone, you can take only 5% you can absorb only 5% of the curcumin in turmeric. But if you take it with black pepper, you can significantly increase that by 2,000 times. So that is where food combination comes in. So you need to know what foods to combine. For example, when you are taking foods like avocado, right? you take avocado is a very high fat food, right? So good fat, good fat. You take it with things like tomatoes, because the lycopene in tomato has a compound called lycopene. So those are the things that are in this. So different superfood has different compounds that are very potent. Lycopene is a very potent, strong antioxidant. So the fat, because it's fat soluble, the lycopene is fat soluble, so it will dissolve and absorb very fast into your blood. So you see the effect, and so on and so forth. Then food sequencing. Let me just give you a very quick list. So you can take your rice, you can take your other carbohydrate, eba and all that. But the sequence in which you take your food is first take your veggies, first and foremost, because veggies are high in fiber, or other high fiber foods like moringa, like kale, like baobab, all the other foods I've talked about, which super healthy foods, right? The organizer of this program, they have, they sell all that. You take high fiber foods first, then you take your protein and your fat second, then you take your carb last. You will significantly reduce what we call your blood sugar spike. So, but a lot of us don't know this. So it's not like, not all of us will switch completely from carbohydrates. Some people still will take carbohydrates. Once in a while, I take rice, and other carbohydrate foods, right? Because I need it, because particularly when I'm very active, I do a lot of workout and all that. But the sequence in which I take the food will moderate and downplay the spike of my blood sugar. So don't forget the sequence in which you take your food on a good day. Take your veggies first, right? And any other food that is very high in fiber content, and so on and so forth, antioxidant content. Then you take your protein and fat before you take your carbohydrates. Somebody will ask me, should I now be taking rice, white rice alone? Well, I don't know how you want to achieve that, but that's what the research has shown. So all this will now increase what we call the bioefficacy of your superfood. So your superfood will be very effective in powering your body system. So as I'm talking now, I'm still very vibrant. I can talk for 3 hours, right? Because I take all these foods very often, and they have become part of me. They are bioavailable. Bioavailability means how much of the food, the nutrient is absorbed. So like I told you, if you take turmeric, for example, alone, only 5% is taken of the curcumin is taken into your system. But if you take it with black pepper 2,000 times, so all this will increase the bioavailability, the bioefficiency and conversion. So your body can absorb the curcumin 2,000 times, but the bioconversion is how fast, how much will the substance be converted to use in your body to power your system. That's what we call bioconversion. Okay? Good. Yes, so for our food and drinks, particularly when it comes to superfoods, we must make one small change starting from today. From today, tell yourself, what superfood should I even start, integrating into my meal? When I traveled, I just came back. I traveled to Benin. I came back, but anywhere I'm going in my bag, sorry, even here, sir, I have my superfood, it's not because of this program that I brought them, but I have this. So I have the pack at home, big packs. So I'll put it inside. This is date powder. So I forgot to tell you, I don't take any kind of sugar again. I only use date powder, stevia powder, sometimes monk food, but date powder is very available in our environment because date is there. So that's what I use as my listen. So if I'm in a hotel and they serve me, they give me Lipton or what's it called now? Caffeine, what's it called? Coffee and all that. I use this as a sweetener because I also have sweet tooth. So I carry it everywhere. This is baobab. This is baobab powder. My moringa is also there. I have cocoa powder. I carry it everywhere I go. So if I go to a party and they are giving me something that this, you know, the glycemic index is very high, glycemic load is very high. If I decide to take it, I'll add some of these things into it. So that's how my life has changed. And when you start to, you know, incorporate all this one step at a time, you will see the results yourself. Nobody will tell you, and you will stick to it. Somebody will say, hey, I'll start today, and this thing is not easy. But it's not easy because you are not consistent. Create your own food and drink plan. So I showed you a website earlier, myfooddata.com. If you go to that website, you can create your own food plan and monitor it. You create an account with them, and it has everything. You can even compare different food with charts and all that. Then learn more about preparing meals. I'm sorry to say that more than 90% of the foods we eat out there that are not prepared by us, they put all sorts in it. And today we have what we call hidden sugars. They will tell you that this thing doesn't have sugar. They will tell you it's low carb, but don't mind them. They are hidden sugars. And those hidden sugars are what is killing people and what is carcinogenic. Then eat mindfully. When you eat, a lot of us, we are eating, we are typing, we are eating, we are making calls. Your food will not digest well. And even if it is a superfood, the bioavailability will be low, the bioefficiency and what's it called now? Bioconversion will be low. So eat mindfully. When you are eating, focus on eating and eat slowly. So research has shown that when you eat slowly, you increase the absorbability, the bioefficacy and bioefficiency. So please let us take all this. When people say, oh, eat slowly, it seems as if it's one very mundane, you know, non-essential tip, but it's a very, very solid tip, because even research has shown today that people who eat slowly, mindfully, consciously, they suffer from less nutritionally induced diseases than people who don't eat mindfully. Then tailor your eating to your health needs. So sometimes people go out there and copy and paste. No, ask yourself, right now in my life, am I pre-diabetic? Am I hypertensive? Am I a very active person, a sports person? So based on your profile in life, you can choose and pick the kind of food you eat. But again, stay with the essentials. Low carb diet, start to throw away all kinds of inflammatory oils. You know, I felt guilty, but at some point, you know, last year, I gave out all the oil in my life. All those vegetable oil, the ones in cans, I just gave it out, you know. But I was not thinking, this thing will not make people healthy. But again, I didn't want to throw it away, but somebody still needs it, so I threw them away. So start to tailor your eating to your health needs, and work with a dietitian, right? Good. You can find a lot of these things online. You can use yourself as an experiment, because all this food, they will not kill you, right? You know, so it's not like drugs that you take that they say, oh, if you take this dosage, blah, blah, blah. No, a lot of these superfoods, if you take them, you know, the worst that can happen sometimes, maybe if you take, let me give you an example, chia seed. You take a lot of chia seed, you can start purging. You know, those are some, you know, negative effects. So you can start small, you know, start incorporating them into your diet. If you find out that you are reacting to it, then switch to another one. Okay? Yes. So in this session, what we have looked at is how foods affect our biology and chemistry. Really, everything we are doing is chemistry and biology. So it's not the chemistry and biology we do in school, but as I'm talking to you, it's chemistry. My brain is burning sugar. My brain is burning ketones. That is chemistry. Then the biology is all the things happening. For me to say a word, you cannot imagine the biological processes that take place to say a word. So foods affect our biology and chemistry. Then we talked about why superfoods really matter, right? Because, you know, today we have been scammed by the food industry. And let me tell you something, a lot of the research on healthy food is sponsored by the food industry. So there's conflict of interest. So the stuff that you'll be seeing out there, you know, will be stuff that is influenced. So you will not know the truth. Because if you know the truth will set you free. And when you are free indeed. Why superfoods really matter, we talked about. Then what to look for in a superfood, I've told you all that. Look at your glycemic index, your glycemic load, your ORAC value, look at your biological value, look at the macronutrients, the balance of carbohydrates, your fat, your protein, and your fiber. Fiber, very important, you know, because it helps your gut and helps to slow down the breakdown of sugar, of glucose. Then your micronutrients. Your micronutrients, let me tell you this, I didn't say it earlier, they are more or less, so there is what we call enzymes. Enzymes occur naturally in your body. They are the things that speed up the reactions that take place in your body. So, for example, your digestion is powered by enzymes, right? Enzymes facilitate it. Your, what's it called? Respiration, there are enzymes that control it. The growth of our body is powered by enzymes. Now, what they have not told you is that there is what we call coenzymes. There's what we call coenzymes, and those coenzymes are literally your vitamins and minerals. So coenzymes mean that they increase and facilitate and speed up even more the things that take place in your body, the good reactions. So if you lack your vitamins and minerals, it means that the functions in your body will take place at a slower pace, and you know, you will not have that capacity to clean up debris, to clean up the waste from your system, even from your brain. Do you know that your brain produces quantum of waste? You know, and in the night, that waste is cleared, like some what's called a waste collector clears it. So there are specific mechanisms that take place that clears off the waste that that are produced in our brain in the night. Food powers that, and that powering comes from your micronutrients, so vitamins and minerals. So to end it, superfoods, it will give you a super life, and I'm a testimony to that. I'm not just a biohacker, I'm a neurohacker, I'm a psychohacker. Food affects our brain, food affects our body, food affects our mind. And you'll be surprised at even the mental illnesses that will be cured, that will be prevented if we focus on the right foods, the superfoods. Thank you. God bless. I've spent so much time. I'm sorry. More than 1 hour. Thank you. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tony.
Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful sections we had there.
Thank you.
I want to believe we have a lot to take home from that section. So now we have some questions that have been dropped in the chat box for us.
Okay.
Answer. So
Okay.
yeah, mainly people want the slides. Mind
I
to
think-
have the slides. So
So to have the slides, yeah, no problem. We'll send you. We can send the slides. No big deal. We'll send you the slides. Yeah. Okay.
right.
So you subscribe to Super Healthy Food, and then you will receive more of these newsletters. You know, different tips on superfoods, Super Life from Super Healthy Food. So you can drop your email, and then I don't know. We have the emails, so I can just take it.
Okay, sir. We have a question here from Abisola Oshud.
Please be asking it. Be asking the questions. Yeah.
So, what place does super supplement plays?
Okay.
Food
What place
what-
the supplement
what-
plays? Thank you. So you see, The supplement industry is another industry that is meant to make us depend on it. So that's why they don't want you to know a lot about this superfood. If you focus on superfood, you will need little or no supplements. Of course, there are some supplements that you may not get from superfood, or you may not get the right quantity. But I can tell you that more than 90% of the nutrients you get from supplements, mostly vitamins, minerals, and all that, you can find them when you focus on these superfoods that we've talked about. You find all of them. So you don't literally need to buy all kinds of supplements. Let me tell you the only supplement I take right now. The only supplement I take is cod liver oil. You all know cod liver oil, right? Because it's very packed with the omega-3 that I talked about. So it's I don't get salmon all the time, because salmon is one of the most nutrients, has the most nutrient dense omega-3. So but cod liver oil has a lot of it. So I take cod liver oil. Let me tell you the other supplement I take. Sometimes I take magnesium. Magnesium is another supplement I take. But any supplement that is maybe omega-3, that has omega-3, is a good supplement to have, because you don't have a lot of it in most foods. But a lot of all the other supplements, whether it's vitamin B complex, vitamin A, all these multivitamins, essentially, I'll tell people that the liver I told you about is a multivitamin, right? Egg, this is our egg we are talking about. I forgot to tell you, I take 4 or 5 eggs every day. And those people that told you that egg increases cholesterol, that was a big lie. Even the American Heart Association has debunked that claim recently. So take as many eggs as you can, because egg is a multivitamin. Go and check. You find that most of these vitamins you take in your multivitamin, you find them in egg. Okay, so the answer to your question is yes, maybe just a few multivitamins or vitamins, but for the most part, if you focus on your superfoods, you don't need them. You may only need supplement if you are suffering from a very dire, condition that needs the thing to act very fast. But if it's lifestyle change, you don't need so much of supplement. Yes.
Can I add a little there?
Yes, please.
Can I speak?
Yes, please. You can go ahead.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mr. Shoretire, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tony.
Thank you
for this insightful presentation. Good job. But I want to add to the aspects as related to egg,
Yes.
as related to egg, lipid profile, and thereabouts.
Yes.
A lot of things has to come into play too.
Yes.
Research is not static, it's progressive. And when it comes to woman, it's continuous.
Yes.
So when we talk about egg, because we're talking about cholesterol building up, fine, there are some research saying, but just the way you've said, because some people saying that, okay, research is talking about the so-called faster thing we're talking about. A lot of things are involved as regard to the cholesterol building up. Individual, the cholesterol is also a good nutrient in the body for absorption of some vitamins,
of course,
absorption of some nutrients in the body.
Yes.
So, and when we are talking about that issue, individual activities too need to be looked into. If someone is not really active and it doesn't make use of the energy, because individual bodies will burn cholesterol at different rates. So a lot of things needs to come into play. But as it is being presented, because we are doing bioacne, we are improving knowledge of what science has been able to bring to us, understanding of the human system, and make available impactation of the food sources we are having. So we try to let's take a little caution. How active is the person? Because even the natural carbohydrate intake with the glucose, everything, once it's been taken in excess quantity, it raises. the body store it too, and the fat and the cholesterol. So the person's activities, age, and what has been the history to. Some people maybe those prominent sort of things, and they have not been able to work on their so-called genetics, their so-called the pointers. Like you have been able to identify some things with you. So
Yes.
in that sense, I would say we should take some little caution in as much is given. And then as we're talking with the issue of vitamin A, the issue of the liver too is a good thing. And that is why many times caution is being given to pregnant mothers too. But let it be individualized. So they might need to see an expert too, because to know which one would be very good, because there's vitamin A toxicity. So there's a toxicity of vitamin A too when it is many as regard to pregnant mothers, because this program is open and many people will take the information as it is. But to an elderly individual that understands their health status and they are active is a good thing. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I enjoy it, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So as you rightly said, right, there's what we call is a new field of nutrition. It's called what's it called? Nutrigenomics.
Yes.
So what we are saying is that nutrition is personalized. I already said it, that depending on your condition in life, you will need more or less of this stuff. But generally, if you are a functioning, human being, you don't have any life-threatening condition, right? These foods are generally safe for you because they have more advantages than disadvantages.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Like
and
myself,
I forgot to say, when people talk about high cholesterol and low cholesterol, this is a story for another day. There is nothing like high cholesterol or bad cholesterol and good cholesterol. That's all bullshit, but it's a story for another day that we'll talk about.
Let's make it a story for another day. For a better discussion.
Yes, because cholesterol, all your cells are made of cholesterol. So it is actually what transports cholesterol. So it's the transport system from one part of the body to the other that may be deficient. So for example, if your transport system, they call it the lipoproteins, right? So if your transport system is not functioning very well, right? That's where you now have these problems of, you have too much cholesterol deposited in a particular place. But generally, our bodies are meant to use the cholesterol because the liver itself produces cholesterol. And sometimes we don't have sufficient quantity. That's why we get it from our meal. So there is no bad of cholesterol, but we just have to, if you go into the detail, you will now understand better. Anyway,
when we go into the details, when there's time, so we need to talk intellectually and balance our understanding.
Yes. Thank you all so very much. GM, do we have any other questions that need to be attended to? I think we got one or so question earlier on. Can you share that? And while she's getting ready to do that, our admin, please, can you launch the poll? We apologize for taking so much time, but I'm sure that you will agree with me that it has been a time well spent. We have done a lot of unlearning, learning and relearning, and we hope to do a whole lot more in the future. So please take part in our polls so that you can contribute to what we bring to you in the future. This is not something that will end now. We intend to do this, to run these seminars on a monthly or bi-monthly basis as God helps us. So please help us to serve you well. Yes, any other question? Can you find the question?
Yes, we've discussed that earlier. The participant needs the slides. And Mr. Tony has promised to make the slides.
Yeah, we'll make the slides.
Oh, yeah. What we are going to do is to make the whole, what do you call it now? The recording will be made available. It will be sent to your emails, and we will also load it on our YouTube channel so that you can visit at any time. You can go again and again to hear what has been discussed today, because I'm sure it's like going to university for some of us. I jotted down a lot of points. You know, thank God I have a biochemistry background. It really helped me. But it's something that we need to go over again and again so that we learn and keep learning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so it seems we have exhausted the questions and we come to the very end of the program. As some of you might have seen in the chat room, we've sent you a link to our website. We have a whole range of products that we can, or that we have on offer, and bundles too. I'll just ask our sales department to just quickly post some of the bundles that we have available in the chat room. Please just post them now. And one thing we can assure you is that because you have been a part of this program today, we will give you a 10% discount if you make your orders within the next 3 days, maximum 1 week. Just, you can make your orders via WhatsApp and let us know that you are a part of this program, and we will give you that discount. You can order single products, you can order in bulk. We are in the US, we are also going to be in the UK in maybe the next 1 month. So our products will be available in the UK also. But our offices are in Lagos and Abuja. If you prefer to pick up from the office, we are also able to deliver nationwide. We've delivered to Bayelsa, Port Harcourt. We have distributors in Warri, in Port Harcourt, and we are taking on more distributors. So we say to you, choose wisely, eat intelligently, and fuel your body to optimize your performance, to improve your brain health, to improve your life, and to ensure that you live longer. We wish you the very best. I want to say a big thank you to all those who have stayed with us to the end, to all those who joined us pretty early, to our numerous customers, whether existing or potential. We hope that we will be able to convert you very soon. And we look forward to seeing you again. To the SHF team, I say a very big thank you. I see our quality director in-house, Ms. Somawine is our quality director. I see a lot of, our team members here. Shola, IT admin, who's done a lot of work. We have Mr. Dadaomoto Shaw, the brain behind all these designs that you see when you visit our social media handles. He does an excellent job. We have John Alagile in charge of our logistics, Chinasa, our quality officer. We have so many. Paul in charge of Abuja office. We have several interns, youth corpers, who are also here. Thank you all for the work that you do. And we just pray and believe that together we will make millions and millions of lives better, give them better nutrition, and make them to be able to live their lives, to the fullest. Thank you all. God bless you. Someone says, send bundles to my email. Please drop your email so that we know what we have here is FADSTINT. So please send your emails. Yes, thank you very much. Drop it there. For those of you who did not register but were able to join, please drop your email addresses or phone numbers so that we can reach you. Yes, I must recognize our youth corpers, Michael, Daniel, and so on, Lola, our interns, Adura. We love you all. Thank you for the work that you do. We can't be SHFNL without you. You all contribute something good. Admin says he wants to take a group photo. So please, let's put on our best smiles so that we all look good. Thank you all very much. Please just don't run away. Let's take that photo together. Thank you. Please put on your cameras. Put on your cameras, please, so that we can take a group photograph. Shala, please tell us when you are ready. Okay, this is gallery view. Yeah. Thank you all.
Yes, so let's go. Please click allow.
I've clicked allow. Okay, thank you. Are we done? Some people are just putting on their cameras. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
Have a beautiful day, everybody. See you next time. Please don't forget to take the poll. Shola, have you launched the poll?
Yes.
Please take the poll. We want your comments. We want your suggestions. We want you to tell us what topics. Please engage with us on our social media handles. Please post our social media handles for everyone to see and buy from us. Patronize our markets. Thank you. God bless you. So we'll just ask Mr. Dada, can you close us in prayer?
Wait, to learn on my mic.
Yes, your mic is on.
Okay, it's on.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, we give thanks to Almighty God for the success of this meeting. And as we, look forward to the upcoming one, we pray that God should keep us alive and make the intention of this program a successful one.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dada. We have two Mr. Dadas in the house. Thank you, Mr. Dada. We are
You're welcome.
grateful. Thank
Yes,
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. Thank you all. Have a beautiful evening and see you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.